bakit tinataas ang presyo ng tubig? Hindi po ako sinasagot ng MWSS. Wala po ako natanggap na reply kahit po mayroong batas na 15 days dapat po sila mag-reply. Entitled, Uhaw Pasihuan, Mr. President. The story of our water is the quintessential modern-day Filipino story of wealth, monopolies, corporations, and privatization of natural resources running roughshod over our Constitution, statutes, and equality. It is a story largely hidden from public view. I have a short video presentation, Mr. President. We have the audio.
Without enough water to bathe or wash clothes, some residents have been absent from work or school.
Wala daw pang ligo tsaka pang laban ng uniform.
Bawal ba sa inyo hindi naka-uniform?
Bawal. Hindi pinapapasok ng gate.
Paano maapatan kahit sino man tao na karoon ng 5 days hindi na niligo, may isa katal.
Pinakita po natin sa video, Mr. President, isa lang marahil sa maraming mga estudyante na hindi nakapasok noong mga nakaraang linggo at buwan dahil sa malawakang water crisis sa Metro Manila itong taon na ito na nakakaapekto sa tinatayang 6 na milyong kataong residente ng Metro Manila. At inaasahan pa ho ito nga abot ngayong summer ng 2020. Sinanay naman po, marami siyang problema, hindi lang dahil walang tubig, kung hindi mataas na presyo ng tubig, itong September lang tumaas ng 0.69 per cubic meter. Ibig sabihin, ay magbabayad siya ng dagdag na 93 centavos hanggang 2.06 centavos at 4.20 pesos sa kanyang babayaran, depende sa dami ng nakukonsumo nilang tubig kada buwan. Sino po ang dapat sisihin, Mr. President? Uhaw na si Juan. At dahil yan po sa mga korporasyon na narinig ko rin kanina, na nasa likod ng kasalukuyang water crisis gamit ang mga kontrata na hanggang ngayon, mag-20 taon na, ay nagpapaipit pa sa bayang Pilipinas at na-extend pa hanggang 2037 sa ilalim ng mga letters of undertaking na walang legal basis. Na ayon kay J. Adam Snyder, unchecked corporate power leads to tyranny. In the Philippines, around 1 to 10 people do not have access to improved water resources. That's according to a World Bank study. As stated in World.org, out of 105 million Filipinos, nearly 7 million rely on an improved and safe and sustainable water, Mr. President. Subalit, kung titingnan po natin ang mission and vision statement ng Manila Water, ang nakalagay po doon sa kanila, to create, and I quote, to create an exceptional customer experience in the provision of sustainable solutions vital to health and life. Sa Manila Water naman po nakalagay sa kanilang mission to provide safe, affordable, sustainable water solutions. Ang nangyari po nito mga nakaraang araw, kagaya po na narinig natin kanina kay Senator Go, nagkaroon po ng desisyon ang Permanent Court of Arbitration sa Singapore para payagan ang Manila Water at ang Maynilad na magtaas ng kanilang rates. Natatandaan ko pa ho, Mr. President, nung nakaraang taon, bilang isang mamamayan, ako po ay nag-file ng petition. Can we show the slides, please? I filed the petition last year, December 12, 2018, almost a year to be exact. I filed another petition January 14, 2019. Another petition March 2, 2019. Dumulog po ako sa MWSS, tinatanong ko po at nag-oppose ako, bakit tinataas ang presyo ng tubig? Hindi po ako sinasagot ng MWSS. Wala po ako natanggap na reply kahit po merong batas na 15 days dapat po sila mag-reply. Ngayon ko lang po nalalaman na naintindihan, Mr. President, sa kadahilanan pala sa concessionaires agreement ay merong non-interference clause. Hindi dapat makialam ang regulatory office sa pagtataas ng rates dahil kung sila ay makikialam, sila po ay bibigyan, papatawan ng penalty ng nakasaad sa kontrata. At ganun nga po ang nangyari, Mr. President. Kaya po tayo merong pinag-uusapan na 3.45 billion para sa Maynilad, 7.39 billion para sa Manila Water ay dahil sinasabi nila na pinagbawalan silang magtaas at nakalagay po sa Section 4 ng Letter of Undertaking, and I quote, "The Republic shall not interfere with mechanisms contained in Article 9 of the agreement relating to the setting of rates and connection charges for water and sewerage services provided by the concessionaire service area." Sa palagay ko po, mali ito, Mr. President. This has no legal basis. While the Civil Code provides that contracts between parties, statements between parties have the force of law, the concession agreements I mentioned is against public policy, contrary to morals, contrary to good customs, contrary to public order, and their jurisprudence also instructs us that that erroneous or excessively burdensome provisions which are disadvantageous to the government should therefore be declared null and void. Kagaya po ng narinig ko kanina kay Senator Go, sinabi po ng ating Pangulo na itong mga kontratang ito ay one-sided. Ginatasan po. Hindi po ginatasan, tinubigan po ang ating mga kababayan dahil hindi po natin alam kung ano ang mga probisyon na nakasaad dito. Kabilang po sa mga probisyon na nakita ko, pinag-aralan ko po ito, Mr. President, kabilang po sa mga probisyon ng concessionaire agreement, inaalaw po ang concessionaires to recover the corporate income tax. Pag-aaralan na po natin sa isang taon ang pagbabago ng National Internal Revenue Code sa pangunguna ni Senator Pia Cayetano. Pero hindi ko po alam ito dati na yung palang corporate income tax ay pinapasa sa mga consumers bilang consumption tax. In effect, Mr. President, exempt po sila sa pagbabayad ng corporate income tax. Nagkaroon po ng ruling ang International Chamber of Commerce, April 21, 2015, that Manila Water is a public utility and therefore cannot pass its corporate income tax to its consumers. Sinabi rin po ng ating kataas-taasang hukuman in the case of Republic versus Meralco, GR 141314, that public utilities are prohibited to recover corporate income tax as operating expense. As a result, they cannot pass this off to consumers. Subalit, hindi po ganyan ang nangyayari, Mr. President. This representation wishes to highlight, according to the 2018 financial statements of the concessionaires, in addition to the 20 billion, Maynilad 9.42 billion, Manila Water 10.731 billion expenditures being charged to its consumers, the corporate income tax of Maynilad of around 2.8 billion, and the corporate income tax of Manila Water of around 2 billion has been passed on to consumers. In effect, it is as if these concessionaires are charging their consumers consumption tax, which is defined as a tax levied on consumption, spending on goods and services, or a percentage tax, which is generally considered as regressive and contrary to Section 28, Article 6 of the 1987 Constitution, which provides that the system of taxation shall be progressive. Kagaya po na narinig ko kanina, para naman pong ginisauli sa sariling mantika si Juan. Wala na nga ang tubig, pagbabayarin pa ng buwis. Ang iniisip ko po rito, Mr. President, kung ang nagbayad sana ng mga buwis ay ang korporasyon, meron pa sanang pera si Juan na panggastos at pambili ngayong Pasko. The 4.8 billion income tax is enough to construct 4,800 classrooms, 12,000 socialized housing units, and it could fund the additional sees conditional cash transfers for more than 300,000 families under the 4Ps. Ang dami pa pong katumbas yan, Mr. President. As a result, these concessionaires have become tax havens. In the normal course of business, the income is distributed to the stockholders is supposed to be taxed twice before it is distributed. First, 30% corporate income tax. Second, 10% passive income tax on dividends. With the application of the provisions of the concession agreement, Maynilad and Manila Water are not ultimately burdened by the 30% corporate income tax. Even though they are paying for it, taxes are still being shifted to the poor consumers by including it in their bills. It is estimated that 3.1 billion corporate taxes has been shouldered by the consumers. When you look at this different perspective, Mr. President, these concessionaires are actually earning substantially more than the local government they serve, including Navotas, whose congressman is present here. For 2018, Maynilad reported before tax 10.3 billion, while the LGUs they serve, Caloocan and Pasay City, only earn 2.2 billion and 2.1 billion respectively. Parañaque earned 877 million, Muntinlupa 1.6 billion, Bacoor, the birthplace of one of our colleagues here, 732 million, all inclusive already of their shares from the internal revenue allotment. On the other hand, Manila Water reported income before tax of 8.6 billion, while the LGUs they serve, Pasig earned 6.9 billion, Taguig 5.5 billion, and Antipolo 1.4 billion. While earning so much already, Mr. President, these concessionaires are still allowed to shift the burden of their expenses to their consumers. This is another disturbing truth. Ang isa po pong nakakalungkot, pag nawalan pala ho ng tubig, Mr. President, under the concession agreement, section 9.2.32, ay kailangan pa hong maghintay na mahigit 24 hours bago sila rumisponde. Doon sa isa pong provision, Mr. President, meron po nakalagay doon, kung gusto nilang magtaas ng rates within a period of 30 days, kahit hindi po sumagot ang regulatory office, ay yung po pala ay deemed approved, yung rates adjustment limit. Talaga po itong nakakasakal, Mr. President, doon po sa isang provision pa, nakalagay po, Mr. President, na kung sila ay malulugi, lahat po ito ay babayaran ng ating pamahalaan. Ang isa pa hong nakakalungkot, at mamadaliin ko na po ito, Mr. President, pangako ko po kay Senator Ontiveros, lalo pang nahihirapan si Juan dahil wala po talaga tayong kalaban-laban sa kontrata. Sa Section 12.5, there is a waiver of the right to appeal. It curtails the right of the government to avail of the proper remedies against an adverse judgment. It is the height of lunacy that the mere contractual stipulation could render the Republic defenseless against unfair and exploitative agreements. Hindi po pwedeng, sang-ayon po sa Section 15.1 ng General Conditions ng Concession Agreement, hindi po pwedeng mag-imbestiga kahit anong ahensya, kahit anong komite, nakalagay po doon para imbestigahan ang ginagawa nila sa concessionaire agreement. Mali po siguro ito, Mr. President, dahil pagbabawalan maging ang Senado na mag-imbestiga. Ang Senado po ay may oversight powers at kasama po sa kapangyarihan sa ilalim ng ating saligang batas ang mag-imbestiga. I also call the attention to the waiver of the Republic itself of its assets and revenues, as well as any immunity from suit, execution, or other legal processes in connection with any action or proceeding. Sa napag-aralan ko po, Mr. President, sa constitutional law, pwede lamang po itong waive kung ang ginagamit po ng ating Estado ay ang kanyang proprietary functions. Subalit sa pagpasok po sa concession agreement, ang ginamit po ng Estado ay ang kanyang sovereign and governmental functions, kung kaya hindi po kailangan at hindi po dapat ma-waive ang karapatang ito. Finally, Mr. President, nagkaroon po ng extension ng mga agreements. Ang nakalagay po doon sa concession agreement, the agreement can be renewed. The agreement can be extended. But the concession agreement should have expired first before it was renewed. Yung po ay na-renew 2009. Mahaba pa ho ang panahon, hindi pa ho nag-i-expire. Mag-i-expire ho sana 2022. And thereafter, it was renewed to take effect till for another period of years. Ang total po ay magiging 37 years. Mr. President, we hold the water concessionaires to their words that they will in good faith work out an agreement with the government wherein the public welfare is upheld and protected. Let the one who has palabra de honor keep to his promise in view of the expectations such promise has already created. As I close, Mr. President, what we have here is not even a breach of contract, fraud, or even robbery. What we have here is a modern-day slavery where the Filipino people become like slaves for water, similar during the Roman times when salt is as rare as a precious item. Mr. President, this humble representation would like to stress that this is not meant to offer the panacea for this tumultuous, long-winded issue on the water crisis and the liabilities of Maynilad and Manila Water. Kailangan pong maayos po ito para po sa karapatan na nauuhaw na si Juan.